spring. He jumped back in fear and disgust, the grotesque smell wafting past both children. The portrait fell upon its face. The girl, in a startled panic, stood and stepped back from her brother, watching him fall to his back, sobbing. She began to cry as well from the fright, grabbing her sides and bending slightly at the waist. Both children cried for several minutes. The girl feared what her brother had seen, and the fact that it scared him to this extent. She dropped to her knees, getting closer to the fire. After some time, the tears had slowed for both children. They returned to the dying fire. The boy had grabbed the portrait once again, but rather than intently staring at it, he intermittently turned from it to the box and to the door. He rested upon the strange angel just off center of the frame for several seconds, before turning once again to the box, the stench that reeked thereof ever present in the children's noses. Taking one last look from the box to the blurred baby, he set the frame down and curled his body, resting his head in his knees. The foggy sky was no longer visible in the night. Having nothing more to do, or rather, not wishing to move from the spot, the children continued to observe the fire, sitting once again at opposite ends to each other. A sense of weight overcame them both, as if the air itself had condensed around them, pushing at their every side. It seemed to have had an effect on the fire too, a once bright inferno, now dimming to a smaller, more dim figure, flickering with the currents of the air. The boy, noticing this, rose from his seat and returned with the final logs from the firewood pile. He looked at them, then to his sister. He gingerly placed the wood next to the fire so as not to snuff it out. Pondering on his situation, he wondered what might have happened had the wagon party seen their predicament. Who would have cared for them? Where would they have ended their journey? Somewhere better than here, no doubt. Had they even made it out of the blizzard? He didn't tease the thought. Instead, he watched as the small flames slowly engulfed the new fuel. This would be their last, the rest of the wood now reduced to unhelpful charcoal. His sister had full knowledge of their predicament as well, but with the events of the day, her body could not keep up with her racing mind. Exhaustion weighed upon her small frame, causing her to lie down upon the poor and dank floor. As the boy watched his sister, he felt a pit in his stomach. They hadn't eaten for several hours by that point, but he made no effort to find food. Warmth was his biggest priority, yet the emptiness of his stomach was hard to ignore. Instead, he resolved to turn his attention to his sister and maintain the fire. She had fully given in to the weight of her own body, now asleep on the floor. Her brother, exhausted himself, retrieved a rancid bedspread from a collapsed bed in the corner of the room and laid it upon her. The waft of air moved her hair slightly, but she made no reaction to the new coverings. The boy returned to his place next to the fire. He looked to where the woodpile once was, now dissolved to strewn splinters and pieces of bark that would only serve as kindling for a fire that could no longer be. He laid down himself, watching the dancing flames before closing his eyes. He hadn't realized how tired he was up until that point. Perhaps he should have found some coverings for himself, but he made no effort to do so. He inhaled deeply, observing the foul odor one last time, causing tears to well in his eyes before drifting off into sleep.